Okay, so building off of the rope, I'm calling it the rope series right now. Training with using a rope here to practice our Panantukan. And again, I mean, this is I'm just sort of riffing this, guys. There's trying to build somewhat of a logical sequence from the last series we did, the last little video, and now adding just more stuff to play around with. So we were doing, one of the things I had as practice was this particular movement here, what we call a split entry, where I'm parrying a punch and I'm eye jabbing at the same time, or I'm punching the face at the same time, right? This could also be a shot to the throat or a extended shot to the throat. Could be a palm to the face, right? So I could be parrying and palming them in the face here like this, right? So a common movement that we use quite a bit is from here, we'll push down that arm, whether it's there or not. Even if they retract their jab, I can still come in and trap, and then I can come back with this we call a back fist. It's technically not a back fist because a back fist would be that. We prefer the hammer fist. You can do that shot. We prefer the hammer fist just because it's a little safer on your hand. So I'm hitting with the bottom of my hand, right? Boom, like a hammer. Could also be a hack using that same part of the hand. It just gets it can get up to into the throat there a little bit easier. Could also be another palm, like I'm slapping to the ear, I'm grabbing the head here like that. So the movement looks like this from this angle. 1, 2, here like that. If I do it against a right punch, there's 1, I'm slapping that arm down, and then I'm coming over the top with this back fist or this hack. Okay, now, again, this starts to get what I call sophisticated hand movements or weaponry hand movements. I personally call it that. You got to have the basics in boxing for this stuff. That's why the first lesson we're practicing head movement, right? So we got to know how to slip and angle, because it's very difficult. It's difficult to do anyways, but it's going to be difficult if you're standing straight into a punch and you're trying to make all this movement go. You got to move off that line. So if I do the first one real slow, I'm going 1. I'm using the eye jab in this case with my inside left hand. Now the rope isn't that strong, but I can at least put my hand there to occupy. See how my left hand comes over the top, and now I'm hammer fisting like this. Okay, from this angle, so I go 1, trap, 2 with the back fist, or 1, 2 with the hack, or I punch inside, trap, and come over the top. Let's do it this way. Split, trap. We say, our formula is we say split, trap, and backhand. So I go 1, 2, 3. JKD uses this as well, right? Jun Fan Gong Fu Fan. A little bit different structure, but it's the same idea. So 1, trap that arm down, bring this back towards your body, and then hit. You don't need to push the arm rope down. I just like it because, again, it represents me trapping their arm. Maybe I got to get my elbow over their arm, right? It depends, right? I could just go here and hit the rope, but I like to here, and then come over the top like that, okay? So then the same thing would go for on the right side. Now I didn't mention, I'm doing this all out of orthodox stance. You could do all this from the right stance, and in fact you should practice both leads, right? But I'm doing this all in an orthodox stance right now. So I'm going 1, trapping down with the left. See how my right hand comes back towards me? Bang! And I'm hitting that hammer fist here like this. So again, I split, trap, and backhand with the hammer fist. Split, trap, backhand with the hammer fist, right? I can be punching here, trap, and then hammer fist here like that. Okay, moving into this side. Maybe switch my lead. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go to this side. Right, switch my lead. Sorry, do the right stance. 1, 2, 3, and come over the top. Now, not expected as part of this video, but you might need to tighten up the rope, which I do because I'm putting pressure on it. So I got to get better at my knots. But this, again, gives you something to practice with other than the air. It gives you a little bit of feedback. Obviously, if you have one of those like mukjongs, or if you got like one of those arms you can get now, like all different kinds of places to attach to a heavy bag or something, that might even be a little bit better. But all I got is this rope right now. So one more time, we're going to go split, trap, and backhand, come over the top and hit with the hammer fist. Go to this side. Split, trap, and backhand, come over the top, and hammer fist. Okay? So Get some reps with that. Okay, we're going to add more stuff to this. Okay, adding to the split trap and backhand sequence. Now a couple things, right? So when I go here, one thing is that now when I add my back fist, we want to get in the habit of following up. Whether you're going to go into boxing, whether you want to use more palm strikes or finger jabs, whether you want to get close quarter and use your elbows like Muay Thai or Kali, most martial arts have elbow strikes in there. But you want to get into a follow-up habit. And again, the reason is that too is that you think about it this way: if all things go wrong, I'm still in the habit of following up, right? So a lot of times people criticize Kali, for instance, when they see all these elaborate follow-ups against a guy with his arms stretched out. Well, no one teaching it really believes that somebody throwing a punch at you is going to leave their arm stretched out, stand still while you do all this cool follow-up stuff. It's really meant to train the body, train what my instructors call routes in motion, right? Give me options, give me targets at these particular points in time. Really, again, what I personally like about this art, and I think a lot of the people do, is that at its core, I mean, it's basically like MMA. At its core, it's punching, it's boxing, right, with elbows. So like it's Muay Thai, we got knees, we got strikes, we got takedowns, submissions, breaks, all that stuff that's highly combative. So when you see a lot of these motions that look maybe too flourishy, they look good in the movies, it's more to train the body to have what they call these options, right, or routes in motion, so to speak. So anyways, there's my little soapbox thing. But that being said, it's also important for us to get in the habit of, when whatever our techniques are, that we're practicing our follow-ups. And our follow-ups could be whatever we want. Maybe I go 1, 2, 3. Maybe I want to just get in for a body tackle, right, or get into a clinch. I don't necessarily want to strike, okay? So that being said, our formula, our format is based in boxing. So a general sequence would be, maybe I go split entry, I trap and I backhand, then I start to throw punches, right? And it could be any combo you want, right? So again, I split, that's in the eyeball. I trap, I come over and hack towards the jaw. Now I've got my follow-up. I can just go cross, hook, and cross. Again, you can't probably see it on this angle, but I'm angling off just a bit, right? So I'm from here, if this is my center line, I'm taking a little step off to my right and coming in at this diagonal line. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Now maybe I go palm strikes, right? Spare my hands in case I punch the guy in the skull or something, right? So a little bit more conducive here. I'm going in, whoops, palm strikes. So something I need to then, if that's something I want to ingrain, I got to rep it out, right? So that's part of my fighting style. Or maybe I go split, trap, and backhand. Now I come in close and start working my elbow strikes. Okay, again, you can get creative with this rope. Sometimes I'm going to stay on the outside of the rope. Sometimes I might come in and go over the top with it like that, right? Just gives me, again, the line to work. So split, trap and backhand, back fist, okay? Or split, trap and backhand. Maybe I come over the top of the rope and I go down with my palm strike, right? Slap, or I go down with my punch. Come up with my elbow, come up with my elbow. Okay, so on this angle, I'm only doing the left side right now. It's a long, kind of a long section here, but you would do everything on the right side as well. I split, trap and backhand. Okay, then I go into my follow-ups, go into my boxing. Okay, split, trap and backhand. Go into my palm strikes. Okay, split entry, trap and backhand. Go into my elbow strikes, like this. Okay, or for the grapplers, split, trap and backhand. I go, that was a bad one. Split, whoops, split, trap, and backhand. Okay, I go in for my double leg or take the body. Not as fun on the rope, there's nothing there to grab. But you can train the movement is really what's the lesson there. So, split, trap, and backhand, follow up with palms. Split, trap, and backhand, follow up with punches. Split, trap, and backhand, follow up with elbows. Okay? Alright, that's building off of the split entry or slip and hit sequence.